How we frame the message for non-human rights matters. Let's take time to discuss anti-speciesist framing. Today's video will ask what messaging our advocacy sends. Are non-human animals culprits of climate change or enslaved individuals in need of liberation? Before we do that, let's get a bit of background on environmental issues and how they relate to animal exploitation. United Nations benchmark report Livestock's Long Shadow came out in 2006 and stated animal agriculture has caused more greenhouse gases than the entire transportation industry combined. In 2009, the World Watch Institute released a study citing animal agriculture as responsible for 51% of all greenhouse gas emissions. 5 years later, Cowspiracy would be released and reach new heights of popularity with its inclusion on Netflix. With the rise of Extinction Rebellion and the most recent news of fires in the Amazon rainforest, climate chaos continues to make headlines and become a larger part of public discourse. All of this has led to vegan and plant-based advocates increasingly talking about the environmental consequences of animal exploitation. Consequences like deforestation, water scarcity, and pollution, among others. When environmental issues begin to enter the discourse surrounding non-human animal exploitation, we risk running into issues related to our framing. Rather than advocates speaking of non-humans as individual victims of speciesism, advocates may find themselves speaking of non-humans as inefficiencies in human food systems, leading to the collapse of the planet. Let's go through some examples to see exactly what we mean when we say advocacy may frame non-humans as culprits of climate change. Here we see images of humans discussing the many problems supposedly caused by exploiting other animals. Ocean dead zones, human health issues, deforestation, global warming, and human starvation. Noticeably absent from the discourse surrounding harm caused by animal exploitation is the actual harm inflicted on non-human animals. Non-human harm is not included in the problems humans discuss. Rather, the only appearance of non-humans is a cow in the background who appears framed as the source of the problems, rather than the victim who needs to be liberated. In this image, the eradication of cows' existence would be viewed as a way to solve a bunch of human issues. The end of animal exploitation is a way to save humanity, not a way to liberate non-human animals. This next image sees non-humans' bodies divided and objectified, but not in the traditional way of being divided into sections of flesh humans want to consume, but rather, all the problems supposedly caused by these non-humans are printed across their bodies. This advocacy does not send the message that these animals are individuals with names, personalities, and interests. It merely communicates that each animal is a cause of some sort of problem that affects the planet. The chicken's body is not something to be respected, it is food waste. Other images go as far as to call animals featured factories. The language of animals as factories de-individualizes them and reduces them to objects and inefficient resources that cause devastating greenhouse gases. Similar images place the animals directly in front of towers emitting greenhouse gases to imply that the animals themselves are equivalent to human-made factories that pollute the planet's atmosphere. And finally, some images fuse the animals to the polluting towers to erase any doubt that our advocacy conflates the pollution of the atmosphere to the existence of non-human animals. The danger in this advocacy is that it trains other humans to view non-humans as culprits of climate chaos rather than as individuals who are oppressed by human supremacy. These images frame non-humans as inefficiencies, as resources that aren't effective at creating food for humans in the most sustainable way. These images frame non-humans as objects whose existence is not something to be respected, but something to oppose and see as inconvenient or problematic because it leads to further damage to the environment. These images say the end of animal exploitation is not liberation, but the mere reallocation of resources to be more efficient for humans. These images attach a negative quality to non-humans' lives, equating them to pollution, environmental degradation, and insentient factories. We need to do better and not frame non-humans as culprits of climate change, but rather as victims of human supremacy. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel to see more videos on anti-speciesist framing.